Let me start with the cap, right?
Okay.
We need to get away from the traditional transportation vehicles, right? If you look at taxis, if you put in a 50,000 cap for taxis, you know that the taxi will be used 24 hours.
Okay.
They will have multiple drivers and they'll be out on the road. So you have 50,000. The problem with the ride-sharing economy is that it's a completely different mindset and paradigm. The majority of your ride-sharing economy participants are part-timers.
Okay.
Anywhere from 70 to 90%. So
Yeah.
if I have a 27,000 biker, and this was explained during the course of the technical working group meetings, which is why they allowed me in the first place. If I have
What do you
27,
mean they allowed you in the first place?
they allowed me in the pilot run to continue with the 27,000, the
Okay.
original pilot run.
Okay. Oh.
The reason for this is that despite you having 27,000 bikers, most of that are part-timers, only about anywhere between 3 to 5,000 are on the road.
Only?
Yes.
That is scientifically
That is
proven by computer,
Exactly,
etc.
exactly. And this is
Okay.
the same ratios that you'll get all over the world. It's because most of them don't want to go. Let's say Friday night, right? Payday Friday. It's traffic, you know.
Party.
And you know you can work whenever you want. So most of the time.
Yeah, you don't have to go far in your explanation because that's what happened during Christmas.
Yeah.
Even Grab had that disaster because a lot of their drivers were also part-timing most of the Christmas season.
And that's
Okay.
the difference. That's why when you have a cap, you have to look at it from a different set of eyes and different set of perspective. Because the cap, what you're saying is not a real cap. It's not the real pool of drivers.
It's not 27,000
It's not 27,000
driving
It's not.
all the time.
It's not. So that's one aspect.
Okay.
If you look at surge, which has been, I think, unfairly demonized, okay, by the situation because of the Carmageddon of four wheels in EDSA, right? So the way dynamic pricing works is that if the demand is high, let's say peak hours of morning or peak traffic, rush hour in the evening, right? If demand is high and there are no vehicles on the road, then what happens is electronically through the algorithm, they increase the costs by a factor of whether it's 1.5 or times 2 to incentivize the bikers to come out. This is essentially an automatic way to provide incentives to the biker and motivate them
You're
to go
giving them or offering them more to drive more.
to drive out because the demand is so high, so that the passenger doesn't wait 1 hour to get
Okay,
to get
pero
booking.
George, who benefits from the surge? How much goes to the driver? In terms of
Yes.
percentage, let's say the surge went up by, let's say, 10 pesos.
Yes.
How much goes to the driver and how much goes to Angkas?
80% goes to the driver, 20% goes to Angkas, right? So, but see,
80-20 of how much are we talking about? I'm practically preparing you for Congress.
Yes,
because
you
this
are.
will be the questions
Definitely.
in Congress.
No, but Sir Cito, look at it from this point of view. Look at also the base. You need to treat two wheels and four wheels very differently. The base of four wheel is quite high versus the base fare.
Okay.
So if you're doing a 2x times 2.
The four-wheel is 40, I think.
No, the four-wheel.
Grab.
No, on a regular trip is probably anywhere between 200 to 300 pesos.
Oh,
correct?
okay.
Right? So if you're gonna do a surge or a dynamic price of times 2, then that's another 300 pesos.
Okay.
It's very expensive, and it's not for everybody, and it shouldn't be, right? Because you have that convenience of the TNC. Now, for motorcycles, the base price is 100 pesos, right? So if you get our dynamic pricing, which we've already experienced, calculated, made mistakes on, went too high, went too low, lost customers. We've had 3 years of experience in this. Our dynamic pricing is 1.3 to 1.5. So if it's 100 pesos base, you're talking about additional 30 to 50 pesos that you give premium to the bikers so that you don't have to wait long to book, or you can be assured that you'll have be able to book and go home early. Is
it really a premium to the biker, or is it a penalty for the rider?
It's not a penalty. You mean for the customer?
For the customer.
It's not a penalty because it's law of supply and demand. That's the whole concept of the ride-sharing economy. That's why it works. That's why you get a lot of people interested in becoming a biker, and ultimately the passenger has that convenience of being able to book anytime and anywhere she wants, or he or she wants. So that's the entire concept of it. That's why they're both levers. Cap and dynamic pricing are levers of that same ecosystem.
Okay.
So if you don't want dynamic pricing, then you need to increase the cap to give allotment for full timers to be on the road.